Good morning and a very good day to our lecturers, Zaimi and fellow friends. I'm Daniel.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Ainur Najwa Binti Shahrudin.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Siti Zulaika binti Leman. I am from class AS1143C1.
Hi, my name is Malisya binti Noryazid from AS1143C1.
We are going to present our lab case study about manufacturing and process of sardine canning. For not wasting time, let's start with the first presenter.
There are a few objectives for this video. First, to share what is contribution of management toward development of commercial food product and what is corporate strategy of food industry. Second, to share the history and background of ayam brand ensure manufacturing and process, also problem that can occur in sardine canning.
Thank you, the first presenter. Let's begin with history of canned sardine. In early of 19th century, in response to a call by his government for a means of preserving food for army and navy use, Nicholas Appert was determined to find a way to keep food successfully without spoiling either its flavor or texture. Then he invented the method of preserving food by enclosing it in hermetically sealed container. The method consists of tightly sealing food inside a bottle or jar, heating it to a certain temperature and maintaining the heat for a certain period, after which the container was kept sealed until use. In the north of France, along the Breton coast, fishermen fried sardine, then put them into clay jars called houles to preserve them. Joseph Collin, a friend of Appert who lived in the town of Nantes, applied Appert's new approach to the existing Breton conservation method, creating what we now know as the canned sardine. Thanks to them, canned sardine quickly became popular with French food soldiers and now around the world. So, for this case study, we pick ayam brand. Here is a little bit of background about them. Ayam brand was founded in 1892 in Singapore, which was at that time part of British Malaya by a French citizen named Alfred Claude. At first, the French entrepreneur initially focused on importing building material as well as premium products like French perfume and Bordeaux wine to cater to colonial staff. However, when sales were not as profitable as he hoped, Claude decided to import canned food instead and bring to the masses. It quickly became a hit among the common folk. For the logo of the brand, Claude took the rooster, the symbol of his home country, France. Then, the brand name was self-generated by local traders and consumers as they started referring to the canned sardine as chopped ayam. Now, it was taken over by the family-run Swiss company Danish Group and had begun expand to international market and mainly in Asia. It is brand leader in specific Asian market for mass market product and also is a brand for cooking ingredient in Asian cuisine markets such as Australia, New Zealand, France, and the United Kingdom. Now, let's move to the manufacturing process of sardine. It consists of 7 steps. Firstly, catching the fish. Sardines are being caught at the deep sea to ensure the healthiness and the maximum quality of the fish. Ayam brands know warm water fish are skinny and tasteless, so they only use this big fat juicy sardine packed with his protective omega-3 that came from the really cool sea. Next is sorting process. The sardines are being examined and categorized into their size. They also undergo a quality check. Once passed, they are then submerged in ice to make certain that they remain firm and fresh. Then it was delivered straight to the manufacturer. After arrived, the sardines are transferred from the fish bin to the cool room and being kept at -20 to -25 degrees Celsius before the cleaning process occurs. Ayam brand stated, there is a machine that is specialized to defrost the fish perfectly, and that's how the quality maintained. In the cleaning process, commonly, machines are being involved, but for ayam brand, it was done manually by hand from descaling, trimming, and cutting the heads and tails. After cleaning process, the sardines are packed into can manually, then it will be weighed before entering the next process. Do note, that those cans were sterilized earlier before the sardines are packed into it. A little fun fact about Iron Brand: just to manage the raw fish alone, Iron Brand has 600 workers that specialize in these two processes. In the cooking process, to ensure that the product is ready to eat while at the same time making sure that they also stay fresh, the sardines are cooked in a gigantic oven that heat up to 100 degrees Celsius, getting them ready for the next phase in the process. As the can of sardine gradually cool down, each and every can is then led to a series of machines for the filling process. Machine fills each of them to the brim with the ingredients and flavor of tomato sauce without any chemical or any added preservative, thanks to the latest canning technology that protect the nutrient naturally. Once the cans are filled, each and every one of them is then prepared for one of the last steps of the process, which is the sealing and labeling part. Each can of sardine are sealed by heat to ensure that no leaks are apparent. Then, the can being washed, sterilized again, and drying before they apply a thin layer of glue which make way for the actual labeling of the can. That's how canned sardines are made, and it's ready for shipping. That's all for me. I will pass to the next presenter. Thank you.
Contaminated with nematode, a type of worms. On 27 June 2018, Malaysia Quarantine and Inspection Service (MIC254) has revealed that it found worms in sample of a brand sardine from China, which is the Tan Long King sardine, produced by Fujian Yongfa, as well as the TLC sardine produced by Tongshan Tongyi Food. Malisya is parasitic and zoonotic disease brought by a congenital fish that causing the nematode attacks the gastrointestinal system, such as abdominal pain, diarrhea, nausea, and vomiting. Malisya has a life cycle, and it is a complex one because they go through a lot of hosts in their lives. Firstly, the worm's eggs are hatched in seawater, and the larvae are eaten by crustaceans, usually krill, tiny prawns. Then, the infected crustaceans will be eaten by fish or squid. After that, inside the infected fish or squid, the worms will burrow into the walls of their gut and exist in a protective coat. The life cycle is completed when an infected fish is eaten by marine mammals like sea lions or seals. But when infected fishes get caught by fishermen for human consumption, problems such as contaminated canned food and disease will arise. However, Dr. Noryazid assured that the health risk in contaminated cane is very low because the worms would have died during the cooking process.
Next is question and answer. For the first question is, how long do canned sardines last? The answer is, canned sardine can last 3 to 5 years if unopened. When the sardine was opened, it will last 3 to 4 days. Second question is, what is the largest supplier of canned sardine in the world? The answer is Morocco is the leading sardine exporter in the world, controlling 91% of canned sardine volumes exported to Europe in 2018. The third question is, does canned sardine give us benefits? The answer is yes. Sardine provide 2 grams of high-healthy omega-3s per 3-ounce serving, which is one of the highest levels of omega-3 and the lowest level of mercury of any fish. They contain a great source of calcium and vitamin D. The last question is eating sardines bad for the environment? The answer is, fortunately, most nutritious wild fish species are well managed, and in some cases are even abundant. They are not farmed, hence why they are very nutritious. After that is contribution of management toward development of commercial food production. Firstly is types of packaging. Canning process that have been done correctly, resulting in a shelf-stable product and can remain in storage without the need for temperature control for long periods of time, thus loss and waste due to perishability is minimal. The most common material used for manufacturing containers for fish products are tin plate, aluminium and lacquered steel plate, and also retouchable pouches and glass jars. Secondly is robotics and automation. Manual handling was replaced with automated handling to cut costs in the long run. For example, mechanically, the fish are placed in a conveyor to remove heads all in one direction. Revolving circular knife remove the tail, sever the backbone and partially remove the head. Wage issues and labor shortages, often leaving the labor-intensive industry with more product than it can pack. Food is being wasted and so is time and money, hence the usage of machines. Thirdly is microbiology. Several preserved sardines were tested. The result showed that canned sardines has the most lowest total bacteria colony formed.
Corporate strategy is the highest strategic plan of the organization which define the corporate overall goals and direction and the way in which will be achieved within strategic management activities. It is a long-term, clearly defined vision of the direction of a company or organization. It helps determine the overall value of the organization, set strategic goals, and motivates workers to achieve them. It sets out basic plan for what is to be achieved and when. This is done by using strategic goals and basic milestones. However, corporate strategy is also a continuous process that must be able to respond appropriately to changing conditions and surroundings. Corporate strategy must include influence all aspects of the organization and its entire product portfolio. What should a corporate strategy include and cover? Clearly, name, vision, and mission should be a part of the strategy. Corporate strategy influences how a company creates value. This means that it must cover both a product portfolio and the assumption. The product portfolio is the basis for the whole company and therefore for the strategy direction. The company needs to be clear about what it wants to deliver, to who it wants to deliver, what are the key competitive advantages, pricing strategies, and many other things. Company resources are necessary to deliver product and to proper process. The corporate strategy must include at least a basic assessment of existing resource so that the strategic goals can be achieved. Corporate strategy must not only define the product and business direction, but also what a firm has to do to achieve these goals. Resources must invest to and how to organize them, what people skill profiles need, which competencies must be developed and how they must be used to develop the business.
As conclusion, this case study clearly shows that the sardine canning business is a well-known food source and is used worldwide for cooking. There is also high demand and theft of attention among consumers after the pandemic as a low-cost and excellent long-shelf-life commodity. The preservation method also contributes a great deal to the lengthening of the expired food while preserving the right nutrients. That's all from us. Thank you for watching.